a flag with the yellow ribbon, a reminder of those who were overseas serving our country. In this last unit that we're covering, we enter a different world for America. As the Cold War comes to a close at the end of the 1980s, moving into the 1990s, America enters a new world with new challenges. No longer are we squaring off with the Soviets in this global contest for dominance. Now instead, the Soviet Union's power begins to fade. And that means for America, we're not preparing to do battle with a superpower. Instead, the influence of that superpower goes away. And America's influence to a certain degree also begins to wane as these third world countries are no longer being pulled one direction or another and under some type of control. Instead, now there's a lot of these third world countries, these countries that were getting gifts from the Soviets and from us, that we were vying for their affections. They now are on their own to pursue their own goals. And that's going to mean that terrorism, that militancy is going to become much more aggressive. As we see, of course, as we enter the new millennia, the war on terror begins. Al-Qaeda, Muslim extremists in the Middle East attack America, and America goes to war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and even today we're still dealing with the fallout from this conflict. And so as you look at this new unit, look at the way that America has changed since the Cold War ended, and the way our leaders have led us since then. Internationally, it's a different game. At home, we still have some of the same issues with the economy, with the struggles between conservatism and liberalism. But at the same time, the Soviet Union being out of the way, instead a focus being on smaller international enemies and crises, you're going to see some very different ways of America dealing with foreign policy as well as our domestic policy. So look for those differences, and look for what you think the challenges of the next generation are going to be as you look at this final unit of American history.